This episode may contain content of a graphic nature, including descriptions of physical and sexual violence against adults, children, and animals. Listener discretion is advised. Hi everyone, I'm Talia.
And I'm Tanya.
And together we are Crimes and Consequences, a true crime podcast. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Talia.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Splendid.
Awesome.
Thanks for asking. I hope everybody is doing amazing today. Thank you guys for listening or watching us on True Crime Daily's YouTube. And I have a story today about domestic violence.
Oh,
And before I start, though, do you want me to start?
I do.
I want to ask everybody to subscribe or like us and write nice comments, not hate comments. I don't like that. Because we will comment on you and our comment on the commenter section. Anyway, this is domestic violence, which I know can be a trigger for a lot of people, but story needs to be told. You ready?
Yes.
This is a story about Lisa Cecilia Harnum. And she was born in Toronto, Canada in 1981. She basically was raised by her mom. And she had a brother she was very close to. His name was Jason. Lisa had a love for dance at a young age, ballet. And she was one of those girls in high school, beautiful, smart, good at everything she did.
The envy of everyone,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's one of those girls you're so jealous of.
Yes.
That was her. She was extroverted, outgoing, had a social circle of friends. But just like everybody else, she was prone to feeling bad in your teens. You know how it is.
Yeah, we all did, right?
You're never perfect. You're not good enough. Your hair's not pretty enough.
You're not skinny enough.
Not skinny. Yeah. So actually saying that she developed an eating disorder. And she also battled with depression in high school. And at one point she was hospitalized for her
Oh.
eating disorder. I believe it was bulimia and anorexia. And then again, she's in ballet and there's probably a lot of pressure on her to be super tiny. Her mother had once stated in the news that it was a very difficult time in Lisa's life. I mean, as you can imagine, going in a hospital and all that. But she came out stronger. She overcame her issues and she ended up graduating, doing well. But she didn't really want to stay in Toronto, Canada. She wanted to go someplace where she felt had more
Sunshine?
sunshine. And she ended up going at the age of 24. And then this is in 2004. She went to Sydney, Australia. And she's there. She's living her life. She has this work visa for 12 months. And she likes to do hair. She's a hairdresser. And she ends up studying at, it's called the Australian Hair and Beauty College in Sydney. And working part-time to pay her tuition. She loved this, thrived at this job. And she didn't want to leave. She just really liked it there. She also was into fashion, makeup. And again, she's like drop dead gorgeous, beautiful hair, makeup, wearing the best clothes. It bothered her to be away from her family, but they still talked. Her and her mom, Joan, and her brother, Jason, talked every day on the phone. And they were really supportive of her, despite her being far away. She ended up trying to pursue some citizenship in Australia. But, I mean, I do immigration law, so I'm not sure how she could do it. But I do know that she ended up being able to extend her visa And so she's there originally in 2004. And now let's go to 2009. She's living her best life, doing hair, doing makeup, going out, looking good. But she needed a new place to live. So she asks one of her friends, "Hey, do you know anybody that's looking for a roommate or, you know, a place I can stay?" And her friend mentions this name. I have to put on my glasses. Sorry. Simon Gittany. He was about 10 years older than her. He had a place and it's a very nice area of Sydney called Hyde. And it was across the street from Hyde Park. His apartment was 15 stories up and it had like panoramic view of the park.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. And with all windows, ceiling to floor to ceiling with windows. So she talks to Simon and he agrees to let her rent a room. So a little bit background on Simon. Simon worked selling shoes. He was a shoe importer.
Oh, shoe importer. I'm guessing these are very high end, nice shoes.
They're not the shoes you wear.
No, definitely not.
They're not the shoes I wear. They're, yes, high end.
Designer
Footwear. And he does it online. And a lot of what he got came from the United States. When Lisa talked to her mom, Joan, about the arrangement, she said it was just going to be temporary and she was going to find some other place to live. But things happened.
Okay.
Simon's a very good looking guy. She's a good looking girl. They're living together and things clicked. How about that? Things clicked.
All right.
At first, she thought Simon wasn't interested in women, but she found out he was.
He definitely was.
He definitely was.
Okay.
He was. And so she moves into this luxury apartment, 15 floor in the inner city, the Hyde. And it was about 2 months after they were living together that they
start dating.
They're dating. Things happen. Eventually, it grows serious. Lisa's not moving out. Remember how it was going to be temporary?
Oh, yeah.
She's not moving out. Something strange is Simon would call Lisa by her middle name,
Okay.
Cecilia.
Cecilia. It's a pretty name.
It is.
But Lisa is too.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know,
Well,
maybe-
that's what he called her. And he became very infatuated with her. And time goes on. They're starting to fall in love. 2011 comes along. It's Lisa's 30th birthday. There's this party, and there's a video out there in which Simon gets on one knee
Aw.
and he proposes in front of all of her friends.
Kind of nerve wracking, I think.
Yeah, I know. Because what did
Doing
she
it
say?
for-
What did she say? No.
I know.
She's like, fuck that.
Have you
I'm
ever
not-
seen those videos
I
online?
know. Fuck
I've seen one or
that.
two,
I don't
and I'm
even
just
like you that much anymore.
Just like, oh.
Oh, you're taking a chance.
Yeah. I mean, not just videoing it, but in front of everybody. Like, what if she did say no?
I didn't want a private. But anyway, she starts crying and she's
Aw.
nodding her head. Yes. Yes. She was so in shock. Like she couldn't even speak. She's just overwhelmed. So now they're officially engaged. Her mother, Joan, was skeptical about this relationship because Joan had learned a lot of stuff. Lisa had confided in her about what the past year and a half, 2 years have been like.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't as picture perfect surprise
Yeah.
as you would think.
Surprise.
I mean, on the outside, you have this gorgeous couple, right? They're living in a luxury apartment, having fun. But there were a lot of things that happened behind closed doors. Simon became more controlling over Lisa, which is how a lot of the domestic violence cases end up happening. right?
That's how they
So
start,
that's how they
right?
start. They get
Mm-hmm.
control. Next thing you know, you don't have any friends, any family.
Yeah, they isolate you
Yep.
and
Yep. So he starts telling her how to dress.
oh,
She could only wear pants.
okay.
What? Not okay. He told her how to style her hair, which was in a ponytail. They no longer went out to clubs to party, have fun. And s- mostly because Simon was really uncomfortable with guys looking at her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's insecure.
yeah,
He's extremely insecure.
extremely.
He's extremely insecure. A text she once said, Lisa sent to her mother, read like this. This is a quote. "This relationship sure has changed me a lot!" Exclamation. "I'm much more calm than I was before. Domesticated, conservative, dainty. I have nails now too, and they're natural. I have a French manicure. I bought a whole bunch of flat and casual shoes.
Oh, so she's not even allowed to wear heels.
No more heels."
Oh.
And she wrote, "No more cleavage, I'm afraid."
Wow.
She wrote, She wrote, "Simon is terrified of summer and the beach. He said we need to find a burqa bathing suit for me to wear. Hee hee." And then she wrote XO.
Hee.
XO.
I'm sure he was not kidding.
Yeah.
No. Sure, he wanted her entirely covered up. I mean, she was beautiful,
Probably didn't want her
right?
to go out.
Yeah, no.
And that's when her mom was like, this is not.
That's a red
Red
flag. Bright red.
Time out.
Yeah.
Not okay. What's
Mm-mm.
going on? She would have been even more worried if she knew about Simon's past.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to tell you about it.
All right.
Just briefly. Simon was 18 years old when he was basically what we would call here put on probation. He was given a 2-year good behavior bond after savagely attacking a deli owner who had confronted him because Simon was harassing a female worker who was his ex-girlfriend.
So his ex-girlfriend worked at this deli.
Yes.
And he's harassing her and the
Yes.
owner gets involved.
Yes.
Okay.
And he just
What?
beat the,
Wow.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
In August of 1993, Simon was caught outside a Parramatta nightclub with a car full of stolen goods. So he's stealing.
Man.
He didn't show up for court. A warrant was issued for his arrest. And then in 1994, there was this whole string of robberies, thefts, where he coincidentally was working.
Oh, I
He was just coincidentally working.
should just started going missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was this detective. His name was Detective Sergeant Keith Bristow. And his partner, they went to Simon's family's home because he lived with his parents.
Mhm.
They were wearing regular clothes. The detectives arrive on the doorstep and they have a warrant for his arrest because they believe they have enough evidence to get him for stealing. But when the officers tried to arrest him, all hell broke loose. This is crazy, okay? Sergeant Bristow's partner was struck and knocked to the ground just out of nowhere by an old school boombox.
What?
Someone's like, bam! And it was either by Simon's mom or his sister.
Oh. That's an unusual item to hit someone with. Really?
And why you hitting a cop?
I know. You're not going to get away with this. Like, it's not going to just go away if you hit the cop and run off or do whatever. I mean, I never understand why people do this. I mean, I do understand why people
But it wasn't
do it.
even him.
Right.
Anyway, so if you think that's bad, Sergeant Bristow had a hold of Simon and he was struck, fell onto a bed on top of Simon. So he's on top of Simon on a bed. Simon starts biting down on his ear. Okay.
Oh, no.
And the officer, sergeant is saying, don't,
Right.
don't, stop, stop. But there was no stopping Simon. Simon then bit right through his ear and then spit it out.
He did it Mike Tyson,
He
right?
did it.
Oh, no.
What
To the
the
police
fuck?
officer?
What the fuck is this about? What the fuck is
Ooh.
this?
Come on now.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, a little cuckoo.
Cuckoo. I mean, in the end, he ended up getting kind of a slap on the wrist. He was jailed. And after a priest supported Simon's claims that he'd undergone some religious metamorphosis,
transformation,
he's found God. Simon left Australia to attend a strict Catholic order at a monastery in France.
Monastery.
I'm sorry. Monastery.
Not a Montessori.
No, that's where my kids went to school. A monastery in France. Every morning he would wake up around 5 o'clock and he would just pray all day. Good for him.
Yeah,
Like,
those
good
people
for
are
him.
devoted.
Yeah, he had this single bedroom and he was pretty much isolated and he'd have his meals alone. And the priest who had supported all of this claimed to the news, Channel 7 News later, that he really believed that Simon had a good heart and Simon really wanted to do better. But
He didn't stick with the
how do you know? Why are you doing a spoiler alert?
I mean, spoiler alert. No, I mean
obviously,
he's in the obviously, right?
obviously. That lasted a little over a year, and he left the monastery, not a monastery.
Yes.
And he basically he couldn't handle a life of
Celibacy? Let me just guess.
How did you know?
Yeah. Wow.
So he left.
Yeah.
And he went back to Sydney and he just kind of picked up where he left off. He was going to nightclubs, one
Wow,
specifically.
that's like a 180 from
I know,
going from a
I
monastery to a
know.
nightclub, right?
Well, you know,
I mean, what happened to the devotion?
well, just got devoted to
Yeah,
other things.
Exactly.
So one of the clubs he liked to go to was called Ivy nightclub. And he ended up being arrested in 2001 for drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking?
52 pills, ecstasy tablets.
Whoa.
5,000 in cash, all in his pants. Why not?
Wow.
Why not?
They're all mine, I swear. Right? Yeah. I just like to carry
I'm
a
not
lot
going
of
to
money.
sell it.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not here to sell it.
No, he did.
Yikes.
And he ended up pleading guilty to the charges. So now let's fast forward. In December of 2010, Lisa went back home to Canada, to Toronto, to visit her family. And she'd been with him for Simon about a year. And Simon didn't end up going on this trip. When Lisa got back home, both her brother and her mom noticed some changes in her. She wore her hair in a ponytail. She didn't wear makeup anymore. And she was into makeup, remember? And
Yeah.
fashion. And her clothes were dull, like black, gray, non-revealing clothes, which was really odd because, again,
She loved fashion.
she loved fashion. She loved makeup. She loved being
beautiful
hair.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? I
Who
mean,
doesn't?
Yeah,
Just like us.
exactly. I mean, you
Only
know.
different. Only different. Lisa told her mom she wasn't supposed to see her friends in Canada because Simon didn't want her to go out, and he would always check on her.
So she couldn't visit friends when she went back home.
No, because he's controlling her even then.
Oh man.
And eventually, Lisa comes back to Sydney, and there's an email that her mom sent, basically saying that he's no good for you.
Right.
You need to go. You need to.
Moms know best, right?
They do.
They
Well,
do.
Unless you ask my kids.
Yeah, no.
Then I know
your
nothing.
kids think you're a dipshit, right?
annoying, the
Yes.
most uncool thing that's ever
Of
walked the
course.
earth.
Right.
My
But
daughter even has me like pull down, like not in front of her school, like when I let her out.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
heaven forbid,
Drop me off on the next block, please. I don't want to be seen
nobody,
with you.
yeah, it's
Yes.
too embarrassing. Yeah, she even had me on Facebook put that I wasn't related to her. It's humiliating
Yeah.
to know me.
She's 15, by the way. Yeah. Aw. But moms always know. Moms
They do.
always know.
Love your
Even
mom.
when you were a teenager, you didn't want to listen to your mom. I didn't want to
I
listen to my
didn't.
mom.
My mom knew nothing.
I know.
I knew
Mine,
everything.
exactly.
Everything.
So,
Everything.
but moms always know.
They do. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, damn it.
So Lisa ends up telling her mom, don't send me these messages
Mm.
because I think Simon might be reading them.
Oh, of course he probably is, right?
And Simon, of course he is.
Yeah.
He's
He's a creep.
And he would have a very explosive personality. Little things can make him go off. For example, if she prepared dinner not right, or she was working out too long, he would just become super angry. She felt like she was tiptoeing around him, and she would do everything possible to not make him upset. Try to be perfect.
Right. Because it's just not worth the explosion, like the reaction you're going to get.
And she probably thinks, I am doing things, like he can probably gaslighting her,
Yeah.
Eventually, despite having to pay, so Lisa had to pay $1,500 in rent a week.
A week?
Simon convinced Lisa to stop working at the hair and beauty college.
No, now she's going to become financially dependent on him.
Ding, ding, ding. Right?
Another form of abuse.
Mm-hmm. In early 2011, Lisa told Simon she really wanted a couple days to work. I mean, what is she doing? She's got no kids. What is she,
I know.
Like just sitting there doing what?
She's probably not allowed to go anywhere. She's not allowed to hang out with her friends.
Right.
I mean, she's probably stuck in that apartment forever, not allowed to go out. I mean, what is she, poor thing?
He suggested that she volunteer as a compromise. And they got into this big argument that ended up with Lisa leaving. This is in February of 2011. She left for a couple days, but then they got back together.
She's almost out.
I know. But during the time she was away, she confided in her friend, her name was Rebecca, about the situation. She's being smothered, basically, right? She's being smothered. And then she gets back with Simon, and Lisa's friend Rebecca gets a message from Simon telling her to stay out of their business and to leave Lisa alone. In April of 2011, Simon sent some kind of, abusive texts to Lisa. It was because she wore her hair down.
Oh, no. She broke a rule. Yeah.
There you go again.
Yep.
With that attitude. He wrote, since you got an attitude and you made the comment about me working during the day, there are 2 bills worth $900. One for electricity and one for Telstra. I don't actually know what Telstra is, but like gas or something.
Yeah, probably.
I want you to pay for them with your own money.
With the money, with the no job that she has.
With the no job. Lisa replied, if I had a job that paid me money instead of something that you're comfortable with, then maybe I could pay something. You are a heartless person. And this pissed Simon off. He's not a heartless person.
No, of course not. He's giving her everything, Talia.
Yes.
He's giving her everything. What is her problem?
He wrote her back, quote, who the fuck do you think you are? Walking around the house like you own it, or coming and going without my permission. Again, I've waited for you to apologize for your disgusting comment, but you walk around like a peacock with your hair out and too proud to apologize. You lied to me and promised you would listen to me at all times. Obviously, you're still the proud person and nothing has changed.
I was trying to break her. Yeah. How dare you have your hair out?
You're not listening to me.
Yeah. And you walk around like you own the place when I'm paying for everything is really what he wanted to say.
Yeah, it's...
Wow.
Lisa's mom, Joan, once told Channel 7 News that she overheard an argument between Lisa and Simon. And Lisa was going to leave. She went to grab her purse, and Simon grabbed it and attempted to pull her purse away. When he did it, he broke her finger.
Ooh.
Now, they'd only been engaged for 5 days when they got into this massive heated argument. Simon sent a text to Lisa that said, quote, Cecilia, you're my fiance and I love you, but we both know you have problems.
Yeah, it's all her.
Of course it's her.
It's all her.
It's not fucking him.
He's gaslighting the fuck out of her.
Right?
Oh my God.
The problems affect the mood of our relationship at times, but you refuse to admit it. Please pray to God so he can help you get rid of these habits. Oh, I'm so angry.
I know. He's such a narcissist.
I'm so...
Jeez, it's all her fault. Like, the only thing that can help her is God, right?
Or listening to him.
Yeah, or listening to him.
She just listened to him.
If she just listened, all her problems would be solved.
Lisa told him, like, I love you. I do have faults.
Who doesn't, though? Obviously, Simon.
No, I have lots of
obviously
faults. Trust me, I have
Simon.
lots of faults. Simon doesn't.
Simon's perfect.
No, he's perfect. She said she has lots of faults, but she was heartbroken when he would yell at her rather than try to help her work through her problems. And this pissed him off because he's always pissed.
Right.
And he told her basically, you need to fix yourself. Okay, well, let me
Why
fix
are you with her then? If she's so
broken, so horrible. Because
so
he's
horrible.
trying, because she can be a good person
Right.
if
He sees the potential.
Mhm.
If she would just do everything.
Thing he said.
Yeah, everything.
Things started to change for Lisa. She told her mom she was considering moving to
Melbourne?
Melbourne. I always want to say Melbourne. I always want to say Melbourne. Melbourne. Mm-hmm. Into a rental property. She basically, what she was stating is that the excitement over the engagement that was over. The reality of the situation was setting in. But Simon stopped that from happening by calling Lisa's friend and being like, don't you even think of letting her rent that place from you. And given all the stress that Lisa was going through, her eating disorder resurfaced. And she recognized that she was having issues. She decided to see a personal trainer. And she was working out, and she told the trainer that she was struggling with an eating disorder. And she was trying to get healthier, work out. The personal trainer recommended that Lisa speak to a counselor who had experience with eating disorders. And the counselor's name was Michelle Richmond. Lisa called, see Michelle, and asked her before, just, can we make sure that you don't take any notes when we meet? Because I'm really worried that Simon will somehow get his hands on these notes.
That's really sad.
She expressed how she felt very isolated and believed that he was monitoring everything she was doing. She did explain to Michelle how she had felt a loss of control, couldn't wear what she wanted to wear, couldn't go be with her friends, couldn't do the things that she wanted to do. And she wasn't even allowed to look at guys when they were together in case,
What if she accidentally did? I mean,
he would get mad.
She'd have to look at the floor all the time?
But at that point, she said she wasn't physically abused. But Michelle was very concerned about her safety and recommended that maybe she go to a shelter for abused women and suggested that she slowly move her belongings
Mm.
to a storage unit, just to get out. But Lisa she was just too afraid of it. On July 28th, 2011, she met with her personal trainer for the last time and handed personal trainer a note. Wait, and the personal trainer could sense that something wasn't right with Lisa. She seemed stressed, nervous. Lisa ended up handing over 2 pillowcases full of clothes and said she was planning on leaving and she's going to go back to work and get a job, a hairdresser. She had these 2 pillowcases and she ended up bringing stuff to a storage unit that she did rent with her own money. I don't know how she had her own money,
Right.
but she did. Eventually, though, Simon confronted her about this. And you say, well, how would he know? Because he's been monitoring her calls, her text messages, everything she does.
Did she have like spyware on her
Yes.
computer and stuff?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, man.
Yes.
So he saw everything.
Everything.
Texts,
That was like
her
his part-time
emails.
job.
Yeah, what the hell does he? You know how much time you have to invest to do something like that? I mean,
You tell me.
I've never
You
done it.
tell
I
me.
mean, I've never
You tell
done
me.
it. I can only
Okay.
imagine. I mean, geez.
Around 7 p.m., Michelle, the counselor, received a call from Lisa's phone, but no one spoke. Michelle called Lisa's number back, and Simon answered and said, Michelle, you fucking bitch. Try to contact her or meet her. Have anything to do with her. I know where you live, and I'll hurt you.
What?
Yeah. Now he's like,
Threatening her.
he didn't even give a fuck.
No.
Then Michelle received a text from Lisa that read, quote, leave me alone. You've ruined my relationship. Drop all my stuff off at the concierge, help me out, concierge.
There you go.
Thank you. No later than tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay. Because she had given some stuff to Michelle too. On July 29th, Lisa called her mom in Canada and told her to write down the following information. It was all of Michelle's contact information. And Lisa said, quote, if anything happens to me, please contact Michelle.
Oh, that's got to be
As a mom?
Yes, a terrifying thing to hear from your daughter if anything happens to me. And she's way in Canada. On the other side of the world.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I would feel so helpless.
And basically your mom said, you need to come on back right now. Get back here
immediately.
right
Get
now.
your ass to the airport stat.
So Lisa went online and she was trying to book some tickets and work out her visa. Later that day, she called her mom and told her Simon had found out what she was doing. And she said that Simon found Lisa found files on the computer that showed all the tracking Simon had been doing with her. Later that night, Michelle, counselor, received a message from Lisa. It said, quote, I wish I never met you because you have ruined my life. I've been kicked out of the house by Simon. I had everything with Simon, but you brainwashed me, Michelle. And now I'm on the streets with nothing. I want the money I paid for you ruining my life, as I'm broke and need money. You should be ashamed of yourself. Thank you for this big mess you've created.
Wow.
Of course.
It wasn't Lisa.
It wasn't Lisa. It was Simon.
Yeah.
So now we're on the morning of, it's mid-morning, July 30th, 2011. There's this Japanese exchange student, and he's walking down to Liverpool Street. I don't know where that is. He's going to catch a bus home with his brother. He's waiting on the Hyde Park side of the street. And remember, I told you that they had this panoramic view with all glass that faced the park. So he's waiting there for the bus. And he hears something that caused him to look up the 15th floor. Then he saw something fall down the side of the building. And where the object that fell from, that 15th floor, he could see what looked like a man that was shirtless leaning over the side of the balcony. And then this is all happening quick. Okay?
Right.
And then, bam, he hears something hit the ground. At first, he thought it was garbage. And then that someone had thrown out the window. But obviously,
Oh, no.
it was Lisa.
Oh,
And then there's this video of Simon going into an elevator, and he had put on a shirt. He's in his pajamas, and he's just like making weird hand gestures and freaking out. And he comes running down in a hysterical state to Lisa's body. Some of the people, because this is an area, it's in Sydney. Some of the people, they stop and they see Lisa and they try to resuscitate her, try to help her. And yeah, it was too late.
yeah. 15 stories is pretty
15
high up.
stories is not survivable.
No, definitely not. Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about it.
Next to Lisa's body is her purse, which had fallen with her. And this is really weird. In her pocket was this piece of paper. And it's probably like this big. And it's ripped multiple times this way. And on the paper, it says there are surveillance cameras inside and outside of the house. Why is it in her pocket?
Yeah, and why is it ripped up?
And I don't know. Someone had it installed.
There was cameras in their apartment.
In their apartments and outside their apartment. I don't know exactly where they were in it, but I know he had them outside too. He wanted to track when she's leaving, when she's coming back, what she's doing. CCTV footage showed that only 69 seconds before Lisa fell from the building, she can be seen running out of the apartment, and Simon's chasing after her, and he grabs her, and he ends up putting his hand around her mouth. Neighbors, other apartment units, people in the other units could hear, "Please help me. God help me." That's 69 seconds before her body's over. As I said, after Lisa falls, Simon is seen on this footage in front of his door, and he's trying to get an elevator, and he's pacing back and forth, waiting for the elevator. And then in the elevator, as I said, he's clearly freaking out. He's just running around like a rat in a cage. All the while, Joan has been texting.
Oh, no.
Because Lisa was supposed to get the tickets to fly
to
Toronto. And Joan hasn't heard from Lisa now. And she texts Simon, quote, "Please tell me that Lisa's okay. This is a mother pleading with you, wanting to know she's okay." And it was about 2 a.m. that Joan got a call from the police stating her daughter was dead.
Oh.
So Simon had his own version of events.
Oh, yeah. What's he got to say?
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
He's got shit to say. He told the police that she fell. She fell from the balcony.
Okay.
So it's July 30th. He woke up to go on his computer, and to look at his spyware.
Of course.
And you know what? He couldn't log in or something happened. So
He
he
tells
decided,
the police he has the spyware.
yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to be forthcoming.
Yeah, right. He's just being honest, right?
And then he looks at porn.
Okay. After the spyware?
And he tells the police, yeah, it's looking at some porn.
Okay.
For some reason, I guess he wasn't able to get in the spyware. So he tries to log in again, but he was unable to. And he found out that Lisa had changed the password.
Oh, she got into it. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Oh, that probably set him off.
Yes, hello.
Right.
And so he's pissed. They were arguing for a while. And then he says he went back to bed. And he said he got up a little later and found that Lisa had packed her bags. And she's booking a flight. She's leaving. And he challenged her as she grabbed her purse to run out the door. He chased after her. He admitted that. He grabbed her and he brought her back into the apartment and wanted to talk. He was going to make her some tea.
Uh-huh.
Make her some fucking tea.
Uh-huh. Sure.
He's going to make her some tea.
Sure.
And they're going to work things out. But after he brought her back in, she ran out again.
I mean, they're in the hallway. He's grabbing her. It's probably a frantic scene. Come on in.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. And we're
It's
just going to
bad.
come have a calm cup of tea. No, I don't believe this at all.
He says Lisa ran from the couch while he's making tea.
I'm just making the tea.
And
instead of running out the door, she ran to the balcony.
Yeah, yes.
Bullshit. My bullshit meter is going off.
Real high bullshit. Yeah. Like, why would you run to the balcony?
Yeah, why would you run to the balcony instead of running for the door again?
He tries to get her in time. She's got one leg.
Oh, she's going to jump
over the balcony. And the balcony, so everybody knows, is glass. It's a glass balcony with a little bit of a metal railing. She's got one leg over the balcony, and she's got a purse on her, and
she's going to jump with her purse. Okay.
That's a good point.
Come on now.
Yeah. Again, the bullshit.
And she's going to jump instead of trying to leave.
Yes. He tries to get there and she slips, and he says she's laying on the awning below and grabbing the balcony, and then she just loses her grip and she's gone. 15 stories. There were no signs of a struggle.
No.
And so maybe his story could have been something that the police could possibly have believed, but there was more people that witnessed what happened. In particular, there was a guy named Josh Rathmell. He was an editor for, I think, ABC at the time. And he's just walking in the park when he notices something across the road at the Hyde Park apartment complex. He looked up, and what he believes he saw was someone without a shirt carrying what he thought was a suitcase.
Okay.
And it looked to Josh like the person was throwing the suitcase over the balcony. And that ends up being what gets Simon. So 4 days after Lisa's death, he was formally charged with her murder. He's got these murder charges hanging over his head. He's in jail, but he manages to find love still.
Really?
He's got a new girlfriend. Her name is Rachel. She's 24. And at the time, she was 24 at the time of his trial.
He's got to be like 40, right? Because he was 10 years older than Lisa.
Yeah. Well, they met in 2009, and they claimed they were just friends. But people believe, I don't know, that perhaps they were more.
That maybe he was cheating on Lisa?
Yes.
Well, that would explain a lot. I'm not saying it happened.
I don't know.
I don't
It's all
know. I
alleged.
wasn't there.
I wasn't there. It's alleged.
Yes.
Kind of
But
close friends. And it came to like one of the things that really surprised people is how much that Lisa and Rachel looked a lot alike.
really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They both had long dark hair, slim figures, brown eyes. Later on, Rachel would say that she didn't see any resemblance whatsoever.
Well, do you really want to see a resemblance,
Right.
right?
No.
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 With your boyfriend's old girlfriend?
That's
Not
dead.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Simon ends up, instead of having a jury trial, he chooses to have a trial by judge. Basically, probably because everybody thought he was an asshole. I'm guessing. I'm speculating. I don't know.
See, to me, that would be risky because in a jury trial, you have to convince all 12 people.
That's true. But if
there's could be just one person, like a holdout, thinking that you're innocent. Whereas if you're having a bench trial and the judge is just deciding, I mean, it's only one person.
Yeah, but a judge is going to look at the law and not be based on emotions.
That's true.
Like, oh, you're an asshole, so
you're guilty. Right. That is true.
That's my thought.
But I think I would gamble on a jury trial.
Yeah.
I think I would.
I think I'm likable enough that maybe they wouldn't hate
I
me.
would never, hope to be in that situation, but yeah, I think I would just gamble it. But okay.
As lawyers,
yes.
we always want a jury trial.
Yes. Right. All you got to do is appear likable, like you said.
Well, he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not. Maybe, if I could just charm the jury and, get one person.
Well, at least he didn't take the stand.
Oh, that's too bad because I would love to see that.
He's not that big of a narcissist.
No, I'm surprised.
His trial began October 21st. The prosecutors, painted this picture of Simon, jealous, abusive partner, how he alienated Lisa from her friends and family. They brought up all the surveillance and the tracking
and
the controlling.
Creepy.
And then how coincidentally, when she finally has the courage to leave, she's dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Simon tried to paint it differently. His defense attorney said that she'd had depression younger, and when she was younger. She had issues and that she committed suicide.
What a crock of shit. I guess that's the only defense he really has.
What's he gonna say?
I know. We call it polishing a turd when you have a really bad
You
case.
just said that on True Crime Daily. Oh, we do call it polishing a turd.
Yeah, when you have a bad
it's a
case.
professional term.
It's a professional term. And, that's what his lawyers had to do was polish a turd. So, they tried.
Basically he just, that was the gist of it. But then when Josh Rathmall testified, that was kind of the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And then also, by the way, the prosecutors brought up, so we have this glass balcony. There's no fingerprints of Lisa's on it.
And it should be filled with fingerprints. Yeah, if she's trying to climb over it.
And struggling and slipping.
Yeah. Oh,
there was none.
Oh.
So they had all the witnesses testify, and the trial actually lasted for 4 weeks, which seems, it's it's
a long time.
A long time for this. I don't know. It's not a O.J. Simpson case here, you know what I'm saying? But
some serial killer with like a bunch of victims or something. But okay.
Well, guess what the judge thought?
I'm really hoping the judge thought he was guilty.
Yes, of course. Okay. The judge thanked everybody and then said, quote, "And many times in his evidence, the accused struck me as a person playing a role, telling a story which fitted neatly with the objective evidence, but which did not more than that." I don't know what that exactly means. Basically, what she's saying is his account often
made him probably look better.
Yes.
And it was didn't match the facts. Yeah, she saw right through his bullshit.
Yeah, she did. And she didn't like that they were trying to sabotage her character. She said, "There's no doubt in my mind that he was in a state of rage at that point and he lost control of his temper."
That's probably true.
Oh, yeah, of course it's true. The proposition that he was able to bring himself under control so quickly after the struggle that they saw on the CCTV footage where he's grabbing her by the mouth.
It's like behind her,
Yeah, and pulling her
back into the
back
apartment.
into the
Oh,
apartment. And then in 69 seconds,
she's now over the balcony.
he's
And
calmed down making tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she, climbs over that. The judge said, I cannot know exactly what happened in the apartment in the minute or so following the struggle at the door. But I think it's likely that Lisa Harnum was at some point rendered unconscious
oh, that's her theory.
in those 69
Yeah,
seconds.
because I was wondering, like, if she wasn't screaming or really like struggling, that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, in 69 seconds, you can pull someone in, make
Yeah.
them at least unconscious.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't there. I'm just saying.
It makes sense.
Based on my assessment of all the evidence, I am satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that the accused maintained his rage and in that state carried her to the balcony and unloaded her over the edge. I find the accused guilty of the murder of Lisa Cecilia Harnum. That's when Rachel,
Oh, no, I
girlfriend,
forgot about Rachel.
screamed, "You're wrong, you're wrong." She had to be restrained. She eventually went outside where all the reporters were, took out a cigarette and asked if anybody had a lighter. And she just was filmed in front of everybody crying hysterically.
Mm.
And Simon's mom had to be taken away by ambulance.
I can understand his mom.
Yeah.
You don't want to think that your child did this.
And I mean, the rest of it, I mean, that's basically the gist. He did end up getting 26 years.
Was it 26 to life or was it just 26?
It was 26 years in jail with a minimum non-parole for 18 years.
Okay. Wow.
And
That's a crazy story.
Rachel ended up suing the Daily Telegraph
Mhm.
because they wrote 3 stories about her, calling her a stripper, like basically a whore, a woman of no morals.
Oh, well, I mean, they shouldn't be writing things like that in her defense.
Unless
They
she
really
was.
Yeah, unless she was. I mean,
I don't know if
I
she's a
don't know.
stripper.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
but
know. But I guess they settled, so maybe she wasn't.
Maybe she wasn't.
And
Those tabloids love to just stir shit up, you know? Wow, this is a terrible, terrible story.
you know, I hate I hate all of them. I'm like, I
Yes.
hate domestic violence stories, but
Yeah, I hate them all.
I hate every
just
story
sad.
we do. I hate. What's that mean?
It's just so sad. Like, she was so close
I know that's
to
the
getting out.
thing.
Like, her poor mother. Like,
I mean, she actually got out of the apartment and he
mhm.
dragged her back in.
Wow. Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that.
And if anybody out there is suffering from domestic violence, please reach out to someone and get help.
Yes, definitely. You may feel like you have no way out or you're alone or something, but there are resources, and
Just get out.
just get out. It could save your life.
That's the story of Lisa.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for watching and listening.
And listening.
To our episode this week. If you would like to find out more about us or about becoming a Patreon member where you can get additional episodes, you can go to our website, crimesandconsequences.com, or you can go to patreon.com/TNTcrimes. You can find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Hardcore True Crime.
You're so
And-
cute. Right now you look like to me like you'd be a school teacher. You're like or a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for today.
That's all we have for today. And thank you again to True Crime Daily. And until our next episode.
Listen and don't kill each other.
Bye.
Bye.